Hello and welcome to the next series after the last painfully destroyed one by the Raiders. I am back with more Aurora content, more Let's Play content, and we're going to be continuing, but instead we're going to be starting off with a Trans-Newtonian start. Have started with a Navy this time. We've started with technologies going up to gas core power and propulsion, which is the fourth tier of engine technologies, and we are now in a position to be able to defend ourselves as we come up to raiders. I've gone for a carrier and fighter doctrine, and we'll kind of walk you guys through the different ship designs really quickly here. So the first thing is our carrier groups. These are our main power projection forces. We have two of these. The flagship in each of the force is the Akagi class fleet carrier. It has 4 600 EP engines. It goes at a speed of 3,000 kilometers per second. Has a armor of 5,000. It's 40,000 tons. Very expensive. Has a range of 20 billion kilometers. Can house a total of, in this case, 36 fighters. And in our situation, it is housing a total of 33 fighters total, and then 3 observer crafts. It also has some point defense railguns, which is our primary weapon system using railguns. And our fighter squadrons here are made up of F1, F2, and OBS 3. OBS 1, I mean. The F1s are the more expensive, larger 500-ton crafts, which are using 12cm railguns for reduced shot. They have more advanced beam fire controls and go at a speed of 9,000 kilometers per second. The bulk of our forces are made up of the F2, which is a cheaper 10cm railgun, based attack fighter. That is much cheaper to produce in comparison, and also more focused on defensive and swarm roles. We then have observers. Observers act as the eyes and ears as needed. They have longer range, they have a longer deployment time, they go a similar speed, and have access to EM, thermal, and active sensors. Escorting the carrier is 4 destroyers. These are named after mountains. So we have Mount Everest, the Carpathian, Mount Blanc, the Rio Grande. And they have 15cm railguns as offensive anti-ship weapon armament, and then 20 times 40 10cm railguns. Their primary purpose is going to be escorting the carrier against any missile attacks, and also providing close-in weapon support against any enemy ships that close in. And in combination with F2s, they'll provide, again, the primary point defense. That is the entire carrier group. We then have reserve destroyers. We have a total of 12 destroyers in our navy. So as you can see here, 12 destroyers of the Congo class. We then also have cruisers, which are named after moons. We have the Ganymede, the Stefano, and the Ariel. Their primary purpose is providing anti-ship weapon capability, acting as a flagship of a destroyer fleet if needed, and working as a primary weapon platform against enemy ships, while also being able to have some point defense of its own. So we would have, a squadron of 4 destroyers and then 1 cruiser leading them, for example. We then also have corvettes. These are planetary defense operatives. They sit above planets. They will sit above our colonies, and they will provide rapid response to any situation. They have 3 layers of armor, so they're pretty heavily armored corvettes. They have 2 2-shot 12cm railguns, which allows them to their prime purpose is going to be chasing enemy raiders, and acting as initial defense purpose in that. We then have 4 escort carriers. We have the Northumberland, Labrador, Kent, and Essex. The purpose of these is to patrol shipping lanes, patrol systems, and act as rapid response forces. They are commercial carriers that have significant range, 200 billion kilometers. They're quite slow, but they have enough speed to keep in line with freighters and colony ships. They have a capacity, and they hold 11 F2 fighters and then a single observer. And they will use their fighters as their offensive capability. They have some axis sensors as well as some EM and thermal. And all our commercial ships also have EM and thermal sensors to be able to detect any raiders that come at us. So we have these 4 initial ships. To support those, we have 2 stabilization vessels, which go at 1500 kilometers per second. These will stabilize our jump points. We have 2 high-class jump tenders, which have 40,000-ton military jump drives, and with 2.0, they can also jump commercial vessels. And their purpose will be ensuring that our military groups can move around, as we'll be using our carrier groups as our main force projection against military targets. And we'll be using our escort carriers as primary colonial defenders on major shipping lanes or in important areas. So we'll be needing these jump tenders. We have troop transports, and we'll get to our ground force in a second, but they can move a total of 100,000 tons of ground forces. And then we have our, for further colonial defense, we have fighter bases. These are basically prefabbed stations which you can build. They're 8,000 tons in capacity, and they can hold a total, in this case, of 18 F2 fighters, which come in at 400 tons. And their primary purpose is to be stationed above colonies with maintenance facilities or with further support, and they will act in such a way as providing essentially built-in fighter defense. We can tug these fighter bases around with the fighters already in them to frontline colonies for immediate defensive work and purpose. We then have our logistics. We have 2 colony ships. We have 8 freighters that can carry 25,000 tons each. We have 4 fuel harvesting stations, and then we have 2 tugs to move those stations. And last, without least, which I think I forgot to mention, which I shouldn't have, is our survey vessels or exploration vessels. Did I not bring them in? I did not. Just give me 1 second, guys. I will I will grab them immediately. And we're back. All right. So yeah, with that little hiccup out the way, let's look at our survey ships. So we have our 4 exploration ships: the crab, halibut, great white, and jellyfish, named after sea creatures. We have the Issei exploration class ship. These are pretty slow, and my answer to deal with raiders. They have a capacity to hold 3 F2 fighters in them, and that is their primary defensive armament. And then they also have a jump drive and sensors to survey areas. And so I'll be able to use these strike groups for defensive purposes. I'm not super confident with them, but I'm hopeful that they will be able to protect my exploration vessels as they do things. Alright, that's pretty much everything in terms of our ships. With all our naval commands, everything's sorted. We can just close it all up with our 3 commands here. We will now go over to our ground forces. So what have I done for ground forces? So we have 2 infantry divisions. Each infantry division has 4 regiments. Each regiment has 3 infantry battalions, which are 5,000 tons in size, and a single mechanized company. Each infantry battalion is made up of 629 infantrymen using personal weapon improved or improved personal weapons, and they also house themselves with powered infantry armor, giving them the following statistics. We also have light anti-vehicle powered armored infantrymen, and their purpose is providing anti-tank capability to these infantry battalions, as well as a 5,000 ton HQ. We then have a mechanized company, which has 60 medium autocannon APCs and 31 APCs or light. These are light vehicles using medium anti-vehicle, and their purpose is providing penetration against larger vehicles as required. And then we also have a HQ. So these provide primary armaments against more heavily armored weapon systems when our infantry don't have the capability to do so. Our APCs can provide said capability. We then also have a war stock. This is where I keep the majority of my forces in for, well, I keep 33% of what I start with. I decided to go with 10,000 BP of ground forces, and I started with 4,500 infantrymen, and all these guys in this reserve. So a total of 3,400 BP. So 1/3 of what I started with in reserve, and logistics, infantry, everything that I need to build more formations if needed, but also to replace, and that's why they're using for replacements, every single force as required. And we've got everything in unit series to reflect that. Now, that is pretty much the starting setup out of the way. We've got to get orders in and get the game actually going. But what I do want to say is if you are interested in playing along, you can head down into the description below and hit the link, which will allow you to then download this save, download this database, and then you just slot that into your save file, into your folder, change it with your database, and then you can play along as I play as well. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into Naval Organization, we're going to go to our survey command, and we're going to immediately start setting up standing orders for our vessels. You see that, and there we go, we've got all our survey orders set up. We're going to keep off moving anything else for now until we have more information. We need to set up our industry. We have limited, we don't have limited on this, in fact, actually. I must have forgotten to turn that on. We are going to begin researching, however. I'm going to get 10 labs into getting ourselves the neck. We want 50% research speed, by the way, 20% survey speed. We're going to get better fuel efficiency. We don't have any sense of environmental scientists. We're going to go for logistics. We're going to go for transitory and cargo shores. I'm going to put that on 5 labs. And then for construction and production, we do not have anyone for that. Missile and kinetics, we do have a decent person for that. We're going to go for 20cm railguns. We'll get those researchers on the way. We will immediately start building 100 more construction factories at 50%. And then we will build... I've started with 165 factories, by the way. I'm going to stop our production and maintenance supplies for now. We're going to then build 2 academies. We'll do that at 25, as well as... how much infrastructure do we have? We have 100 infrastructure available. We will produce at 10% 500 infrastructure. And then with the remaining 15, we will build 5 more laboratories. And then I need to also assign a governor, which I'm not able to, so I'll do that manually, I guess. Civilian administrators, we will go for production focus primarily. We need someone with an admin rating of at least 4. Wow, we really have no one good at doing much things. You seem okay. We're going to assign Sugai Manubo as the leader of Earth. There we go. And let's get the ticking immediately on the way. I don't believe I'm missing anything. Oh, yes, our shipyards and also our fighters. So we have these shipyards. I'm going to retool accordingly. So for the Akagi, this is going to be for our cruisers. So this is going to be for the Hoshu class. This is going to be for the Kongo class. And then this is going to be for the Kagero class. And then we have these 3 shipyards. I'm going to retool one of them for our colony ships. So you can get retooled for the colony ships. And that should allow us to build our freighters as well. We're going to retool you for tug. And we're going to retool you for... I'm going to need some new commercial shipyards. That's what I'm going to need. Tugs, fighter, freighters, jump tenders, tankers. We will go for... Tankers are going to be more important initially, but I'm going to put an order in after this for construction of 2 commercial shipyard complexes immediately to be produced. So we'll put that into order. We'll do 25% capacity on that. And let's start the game. Let's turn on events. There we go. A lot of research I did behind the scenes. And we're going to do a 1-day increment to move on forward for ourselves. And we just had a bunch of all of our officers get assigned to all of our different ships there, which is nice to see. We got a bunch of people assigned into our admin commands, which is also good. 2 junior to effectively command the survey command. We will reassign... we will assign the captain accordingly then. There we go. And we're going to get our survey of the solar system underway here. We're going to keep an eye on those minerals. We're going to turn on mineral concentrations. And we're just going to lightning blitz through the game. And I'll see you, I guess, on the other side until something happens. So let's see, does Jupiter have anything for us? Jupiter has 70 million tons of thorium. That's a fantastic benefit right there. Io has 3 million tons of magnesium, 1 million tons of corundium. Callisto has 558,000 tons of iridium. Okay, so this makes Jupiter very valuable to us. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our tugs. We are going to have them begin moving over fuel harvesters to begin harvesting fuel over on to Jupiter. So we're going to tractor 2 of those ships. We're going to take them over to Jupiter. We're going to release those tractor ships, and then we're going to do the exact same thing again. We're going to tractor the other 2 harvesters, release them over to Jupiter, and then we're going to refuel from the colony. So that will get those fuel harvesters moved over. In terms of colonization, we are going to begin immediately by putting a colony on Luna. We're also going to put a colony on Mars. We're going to put a colony on Io and Callisto. And we're going to need to move a lot of infrastructure over there if we want to be successful. We're going to survey Io. Did we find anything on Europa? We did. Europa has even more stuff. So the moons of Jupiter will provide. The moons of Jupiter will provide indeed. And our fuel harvesters have now moved over. We will just consolidate all of those into those 4. And we will rename them into Jovian fuel harvesters. There we go. And they are mining 7.3 million liters of fuel. However, they currently have 10 million liters because obviously they did spawn with that involved. So we need to be obviously aware of that. Also, I'm not sure this will set up correctly, so I'll just adjust that accordingly. Yeah, and so what we'll do is we'll take our tankers now. I may have cut that out of the video, me just sorting them out. We'll take our tankers, we'll transfer fuel to the colony, and then we will go over to sort out our fuel harvesters in a second here. But what we will do in the meantime is have split our freighters. We'll grab 4 freighters. And we'll rename this to Infrastructure Squad. Or I guess a fleet in this case. We will load infrastructure from the planet. We will take that over to Luna. We will unload. And we will do so 1400. We'll do this 3 times effectively. And then we'll refuel from the planet. And they should be done. There we go. So now Luna has 200 infrastructure. We'll use our colony ships to then move over colonists immediately. So unload colonists, refuel, and we will do this 3 more times. And then we're going to move over infrastructure, load infrastructure here. We're going to load 1 set of infrastructure. I'm going to send that over to Callisto accordingly, and then we're going to refuel from the colony. Tankers are done with that, so what we're going to have them do is we're going to have them refuel from stationary tankers and then transfer fuel to colony, and just repeat that accordingly as many times as possible until we have all the fuel needed. Infrastructure fleet complete orders, so that means that Callisto should now have infrastructure on it. They're not for a lot of people, obviously. The point is to hopefully get some civilian industry actually appearing. We are also now getting geological surveys of the outer solar system as required. But no, we've had pretty great success in the Jovian moons with a lot of different minerals coming out here, as well as Jupiter itself having a lot. In terms of artifacts, we found no ruins or anything of the sort. And yeah, let's just continue on. Moving over those tankers, moving over those supplies, back and forth. And how is that doing for us now? How much do we have on these? We do not have a lot. That's good. So now we will head you back to Earth. We'll have you No, I don't want you refueling, but I want you moving to Earth. So move to Earth. Okay, they should have moved to Earth. And then we will begin setting up our movement of fuel orders as required here. So we will begin refuel from stationary tankers. We will do so every year. So every year we will do that. And then we will transfer that fuel over to the colony. We will cycle those move orders as accordingly. Another thing as well, I do want to order up construction of some vessels. I'm going to order up construction of 4 more destroyers. We don't really have the money right now to afford building massive amounts of stuff, massive amounts of things. So we're not going to do so. We're going to build these ships, however. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is going to be the Etna, Himalayas, Mount McKinley, and Zambezia will be built. We're going to order up 2 more tankers to also be built. 2 more Jinsu class tankers. And we're also going to expand our freighter industry as well. So we'll have all of those ships on the way accordingly. And we're going to be starting our gravitational survey here shortly. Infrastructure-wise, we now have 241 infrastructure. We're continuing to build more of it. Luna has 1 million people stationed. We are going to order up the infrastructure fleet to begin moving further infrastructure over to Callisto as required. So we'll keep moving that over. And I will just have them cycle their moves. And we will continue moving infrastructure over accordingly. Just to make it a little bit easier for you guys, I'm going to turn off asteroids, and I'm going to turn off certain names for certain things. So specifically, we're going to turn off return mineral concentrations, and then surveyed bodies. We'll turn that off as well. Just to make things a little bit easier on the eye for you guys to kind of understand what's actually going on the screen, as everything does happen pretty damn fast. So 3 freighters did just finish up, I believe. If we have a look over to our shipyard, yeah, those 3 freighters finished up. We'll keep those there for now, as we don't have a specific job for them. We're just moving, obviously, our infrastructure back and forth. 2 Jinsu class tankers also just finished up, which is good to know. And we're moving back here, obviously. And we're looking for a geological or gravitational survey point at this point. We did just finish up surveying of Uranus, so let's have a look. Uranus has Thorium on it, so there's Neptune, but nowhere near in the quantities that I actually care about. If we have a look over at some of the other bodies, we have Io and those. So it's mainly going to be focused on, obviously, extracting resources out of Jupiter. We do have access to 80 automated mines, which we can already bring over, which is what I will do. Do we have a mass driver available? We have 1 mass driver available on the planet, but we do need to set up another mass driver. So I'm going to order up 2 mass drivers at 10% capacity. But with our remaining freighter fleet, and we're going to take those freighters from our shipyard group. So take these over. We're going to take this, move over like this. We're going to grab reserve command. So shipyard fleet. We're going to grab these freighters. We're going to bring these over to here. So this gives us 7 freighters. We are going to move over automated mines. Which body am I more caring about? Europa, Callisto, Ganymede. I would say Europa. Yeah, Europa is probably going to be the one we want to begin targeting at the start. So that's where we will be going. So Europa, I need to make a colony on that. Create a colony. And we will then begin sending over automated mines to there. We will repeat those orders 10 times. And they should be able to get all those automated mines moved over, and then we'll get those mass drivers also moved over. We just finish up research for something. We did just finish up research for a power plant, 20%. Let's go for the next level of that, and then we'll go into actually getting our jump drivers up better, obviously. And we'll keep doing our daily increments as we begin to look for jump points in the solar system. But we're now moving over automated mines. We also now have fuel harvesters, 35 automated mines. I'm going to assign a mining governor to this world. So that's 15% mining governor. Fantastic. We're going to do automated assignment for these 2 colonies as well. So that means that we should now be mining 765 tons of resources. We're going to need to obviously get a mass driver, which we'll have hopefully by next year. We sign governor, we complete infrastructure construction. We're going to modify this to be 20%, and then we will do another load of 200 infrastructure at 20%. How much infrastructure do we have? Some, but not a lot. We do have enough now to support. We actually have a colony now in Callisto that we're supporting. Infrastructure fleet was unable to load infrastructure, so we will have them begin halting and just refuel from Earth as required. And we are continuing to look for our serial locations. Now, hopefully, we will get what we need. 4 destroyers just finished up, which is good. I'm going to order up another 4 of those to be built. Shipyard Fleet 1, the Volga, the Mount Rainier, the Vistula, and the Mount Fuji will be constructed. 4 more Congo classes there. Yes, there's a maintenance problem. Yeah, because our capacity keeps coming up, obviously. This is a problem I just caused, so I will not be doing any SM stuff with that. We will do 100 on those, get those maintenance facilities on the way. I'm actually going to do, what we're going to do is we're going to focus all our research into getting out of this, getting out of this. I need to go for maintenance. Yeah, get me that on the way. We need to begin repairing those vessels that did just have those maintenance failures, obviously. So repair that accordingly, and we'll get that on the way. Okay, freighters and completed orders. Gravitational surface sensor. The exploration ship seems fine. We found a jump point. We will begin exploration of that jump point. So let's grab our exploration ship. So we are going to grab which is the vessel with the most capability here. You should have already gone. I mean, deployment exceeded. That's going to be way before your actual supply points less than 20. I think we'll change the standing order to be supply points less than 20 for this. Okay, I'm going to send the crab through, I think. I'm going to send the crab through this jump point and see what we find. So that'll take quite a bit of time because the jump point is on the outer edges near Jupiter's orbit. And the crab is quite a bit away from that. It has to come all the way back through. Repairs have completed. And our fleet is now coming back. Okay, we are closing in. We're ready to transit the jump point. This is going to be, see what we see. Okay, we've discovered system 10. I am also not playing on known system jump points, though I'm not sure why the system is named like this. We are going to just rename the system to, rename sys all. We'll call this Proxima for now. Proxima 1. Okay, so system has a terrestrial world, Super Jovian, another terrestrial, a gas giant, another terrestrial, and the orbits are very interesting. So if we have a look at all bodies, over here we can kind of see. So the first body is Proxima 1. That's got somewhat elliptical orbit, but it's pretty stable. The second body has a slightly less, and that is in the middle. And then the third and fourth bodies are terrestrial and gas giant. So this is actually a terrestrial world. Then we have a gas giant orbiting all the way out here with no Lagrange point, with the distance being about 16 billion kilometers from either. So not the most interesting system to begin with. But obviously we will continue having a look. Let's actually move that mass driver now over to Europa, and we're going to refuel as needed. We are also continuing to build infrastructure and ship that over. Luna is growing organically on its own. Our mining industry now on Europa has 77 mines. We're also continuing our fuel harvesting opportunities. We need to really get our industry up to scratch, as it's not really doing so. Freighters have completed orders, which now means that we can actually ship over resources back to Earth. That'll take 7 days between each packet. And we're beginning, obviously, our survey now of the inner system of Proxima. There are also asteroids. If I turn on asteroids being a thing, there are also asteroids all over the place here. Let's have a look at what we get. No minerals yet detected. Let me just turn on mineral concentrations and then also surveyed bodies as well. Turn those back on. Discover the new jump point. We're going to send the jellyfish straight through them. And we'll leave the other two behind for now. So begin exploration. Remember, once we hit 10 jump points, raiders can and will spawn. Discover system of 612. Wow, okay, that is an interesting body. Okay, these are some interesting systems. That is one hell of an orbit. We are in a singular star system. Okay. We have, what do we have available to us? My bad. I'll put that out of the video. System generation. Let's bring up to the next system, please, here. System 612. Though habitable world, 140 asteroids, 50 moons, 5 planets. We have a dwarf planet. We have a gas giant. That's the third. Though this is a gas giant. We have another dwarf, just gas giants and dwarf planets. This is in a extremely elliptical orbit. That is ridiculous. So this is the second planet. So this is, well, the third planet. This has a, let me have a look. This has a orbital period of 18 years. It has an aphelion of 2 billion kilometers and a perihelion of 51 million kilometers. Its eccentricity of 0.95. It is nearly perfectly eccentric or infinitely eccentric. Wow, okay. And we'll just rename this system body to, I don't know, Alpha for now. Until I can get some system names. If you guys want to suggest any system names, do let me know. And we'll continue doing one-day increments here as we continue our exploration. So far, not much to see, though these are some very strange orbits indeed. Power plant research just finished up, and production of infrastructure on Earth also just finished. We have 200 more infrastructure available. We're going to order up another 1,000 infrastructure to be built, and we're going to do 20% on that. I'm going to start sending over our stabilization vessels to begin stabilizing these areas. So we're going to have our naval logistics. We're going to go for jump stabilization. I'm going to detach you, and I'm going to rename you to Jump Stabilization Group 2. And we're going to have you go and stabilize this jump point, and these guys can stabilize this jump point. Because these are both systems that, while they don't have a lot of actual habitability in them, the potential resources and the potential saurium we can obtain from those two different systems is obviously of significant benefit. So it's definitely something that I'm interested in, obviously. We also have 2 Lagrange points here. It's a very slow orbit, but it slingshots around. That's pretty insane, to be honest. 300 infrastructure now available. Let's go for 1,000 infrastructure at 20%, please. Okay, Callisto's getting its population. Once Luna hits 10 million, I'll be happy with that. Solar system, everything's fine in here for now. Complete research into maintenance facility logistics. We're going to keep doing that because I do not want to be going with my pants down again. So we'll do that again. In terms of our summary of industry. Oh, we've got no maintenance stockpile. That's a problem. We're going to have to pick that up. But we have now more than enough capacity, which is good news. So we will now keep building those. We got 1 inactive research lab. We will just assign new accordingly. And we'll keep incrementing along here as we wait for more and more information. No artifact detected. What have we found anything in these systems yet? Thorium, some uridium found in this system, which should be renamed to Alpha, but hasn't yet. We'll need to just refresh that. So Alpha, we found nothing so far. We are geologically surveying. Oh, apparently there is resources there. We'll see how much. Some thorium. So yeah, we've got plenty of thorium nearby. If we look in our galaxy map, we've got these two systems. We'll just keep incrementing along here as we continue to survey. And that is our first civilian mining operation been established with 3 CMCs. We will go for automated assignment. We will focus on mining. We will assign a governor. And we will ship these resources back to Earth and purchase the minerals that we do find. Wealth and trade situation is going pretty damn good for us. We're making a lot of tax income. We actually have a massive worker shortage at the moment because of our facility increase. So we need to be aware of that. And we're continuing to survey along. 4 more Congos just completed, which is lovely to see. We're continuing to survey here. Jump Stabilization Group 1 just finished up their orders. You're going to go through the jump point and stabilize the other end of it. And the jump point is located there, obviously. Same with Jump Point Stabilization Group 2. We're going to have them go through the Proxima jump point and begin stabilizing the other end as well. What is the current situation in terms of stabilizing jump points in our solar system, in terms of looking for new ones? We're nearly done. We've got a few more we can have a look at. We completed some military academies, which is good. Those military academies, of course, will be very beneficial in helping get more researchers, more officers, more people into the army and all that. So, yeah, we're looking for more jump points really right now. The Great White, we will send you refuel resupply. Do we not have a standing orders for refuel resupply? Refuel resupply colony. No, yeah, refuel from colony. Deployment exceeded. Yeah, the problem is if they don't put deployment exceeded on them, when they do exceed their deployment, we have a problem. So Great White, you refuel resupply, and then we're going to send you through to Proxima to look for a jump point. Okay, and the Halibut's unable to carry out its orders because we're going to do that survey location. So we'll send the Halibut back to Earth to refuel resupply. Then we're going to send you through to Proxima. Gravitational survey completed. We'll send the Crab back to refuel resupply. Then we're going to send you through to Alpha. Halibut cannot stand out carrying orders. You need to resupply. We'll send you through to Proxima. And we will continue our survey missions. Let's have a look in Alpha. Proxima there. Alpha, what do we have? Okay, we have an assortment of different resources. Some thorium, some not. Nothing too valuable, to be honest. We've stabilized this end of the jump point now, which is fantastic. So that we can begin to move stuff into the solar system as required. And we're also now beginning gravitational survey of this side of the jump point. Jump Stabilization Group 2 has just completed its orders as well, so that means that we now have 2 ends of the stabilized jump points. We now just need to obviously begin our survey mission. Okay, how is infrastructure coming along? We have 1,100 infrastructure available. We're going to then move that over to Callisto. So freighters, load installations, load infrastructure, move that over to Callisto, begin refueling. Earth it's still getting some worker issues, obviously. Luna, we are going to set you to a stable source for now. And we're going to move over 5 million workers worth of stuff, if possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell them that we will supply 200 financial centers. 100 financial centers, actually. And we will demand 100 financial centers over here, and this will allow, essentially, it will allow Luna to become somewhat of the financial center and allow to take off pressure from Earth's beleaguered worker shortage problems. So we'll go back to Sol, and we can see those ships being sent over here, as you can see. And we are also obviously now shipping over large amounts of infrastructure to Callisto. Did I not repeat that? I did not. So we will just do that again then. Cycle those orders accordingly. And we are moving over everything as required. Jump drive efficiency 5 just finished up. I'm going to put more 5 labs into this. We'll put 5 labs into this for 20cm railguns. We will also take away 1 lab. We don't have any ground combat scientists. We don't have any defensive systems. We'll take 1 and we will begin research into composite armor. And we are now moving everything over. We just increased our support capacity. And now I'm going to look at some ARC modules, actually, because I'm interested. Potentially, we need to make some deep space populations or whatnot to be able to actually garrison those systems with gas giants in them or protector areas. And so I'm definitely going to be looking at that. All right, we're moving a lot of people over now. We've completed shore leave and the jellyfish is rested. We're going to send you through the Proxima jump point. Oh, why can't you move as fast? Are you in overhaul? Oh, yes, you are in overhaul. Yeah, of course, you're in overhaul. Alpha as well. And we'll head back to Alpha as we begin gravitational surveying of the system. How's our industry doing? We've got 20% unused right now. I'm going to order up then naval shipyard complexes, 2 of them to be constructed. I'm also going to have this consumer capacity upgrade to 20,000 tons. And I'm not going to order any larger military ships yet. For now, we're going to keep our military the size it is. Okay, we're continuing to grav survey these 2 locations. We'll see what we any geosurvey points we can actually find. The Halibut also completed her overhaul as well. We're going to send you into Alpha. Alright, I'm going to leave the episode off here. Please don't like, comment, subscribe. It really does help me out. Consider becoming a YouTube member and helping support me financially to make more content like this. I hope you like the new format, new editing, and how the videos are going. Stay tuned for more of this series, and I'll see you guys next time.